I'm just going to speak plainly. I know the alchemy of immortality. I don't know how to put my experience into words. It's something that nobody even dreams is possible. Something that satisfies all your desires. And I do feel that everything that people are looking for is a kind of lower expression of the alchemy of immortality in some kind of way or another. Whether you want to say that people are really looking for their souls, or they're looking for God, or they're looking for the ultimate expression of pleasure from a perfect ideal lover, or all of these things. All of these desires are satiated within the alchemy of immortality. I don't know what else to call it that. All I can kind of express is that there's some substances that comprise my body and some types of consciousness and perception that comprise my experience that are shared as humans. We all experience those things. About 10, 15 years ago, those substances, those perceptions, that consciousness, those intelligences, the substratum of what it is to be a human being, mine started to transform, like burst into fire. Now, I'm not saying this to gloat or for clout. I've always said these things and tried to teach these things because this is a transformation which is possible in all sentient beings. All sentient beings. May all sentient beings become Buddhas. I just want you to know that there's a possibility of this process. There's a possibility of becoming immortal, full of bliss, ecstatic bliss. I have no desire to play with my phone. I have no desire to doom scroll. It's like when the sun rises in the morning and all the shadows are cast away. That's my experience of my inner reality now. And again, this enlightenment process, this ascension process, this yoga process, or spirituality, religion, I believe that this is really what religion originally is about, is this transformation of the human being into an enlightened being, although now it's become terribly misinterpreted and abused, and I don't like exoteric religion. The loudest people, the most obnoxious people want to tell you, what's what, when they don't have anything to give you except, they to aggregate into their group and their group think. They don't know the secret of immortality. I do. I know the secret of immortality. There is a gland in the center of the brain. I've always made content about it. It's like it's imbibing like this like subtle liquid. Every moment there's like this like flow of liquid from my forehead into the center of my brain, and it goes down and it goes through my body and it circulates, and it's just this blissful, glowing stream of some kind of tangible metaphysical stuff, you know. I think it's, and we kind of have this in Tibetan Buddhism, it's like a higher degree of the elements that we already had in the body. Like you take the stuff that you already had, like, you know, the iron, and it transforms into gold, right? So what's that process? How do we transform the lead into the gold? Through the Kundalini. I think, you know, all the pieces of the puzzle are there on the internet. Everybody's seen everything at this point. Problem is that there is a severe lack of people who have firsthand knowledge about any of those things, and even for those people, it's very challenging to get up and speak, and to have the real penetrative depth, the real well-read, studied philosophical acumen to cancel out your ego when you're going and you're talking about these things. You know, I see so many people that fail the test. You know, it's like an archetypal struggle. It's like, who can step up and drink from the nectar of immortality while not going crazy, you know what I mean? While not becoming an egomaniacal narcissist. And I think I've done an okay job at resisting that throughout my career on the internet. What do we do? Well, for starters, I think that it's not a matter of adding anything that is not there already. First of all, and I'm going to make a bunch of guided meditations here. My channel, make some more content, some more meditation content. First of all, you have to gather the energy that you have, because it's dispersed. You get caught in this dependent cycle, you know what I mean? Like, you need validation, and you have to defend your ego, and you have to put other people down, and you get sucked into this paradigm. So it's really the stuff, the gold that becomes the stuff that becomes the alchemical gold is scattered. It's over here, it's over there. It gets your mind, you know, it's in Buddhism's compared to like a mad elephant, right? It's uncontrolled, or like a monkey, right? It's you know, it's jumping around. And so you have to, first of all, withdraw from the monkey dependent dream, you know, this dream-like back and forth, which sucks us into the collective, you know, delusions of this dreamlike world that is here for one moment and then gone. You know, it's not here that long at all. I'm getting older, you know, I'm going to be dead soon. It's really not here for that long. So we withdraw out of that. And then really you withdraw your actual sense consciousness. You kind of pull the sense of touch, taste, hearing, sight, you like pull it inwards. And then you kind of blend it together into the mind, into the inner reality, and you bring it back to that primordial condition, right? That's the first step. You have to bring it to that primordial condition. It kind of just grows naturally out of the primordial condition. What grows out of that is real, is pure, is good, and is not dependent on other people's delusions. Once we have that primordial condition, Once we've withdrawn our senses and our consciousness back to that base reality, getting yourself to be able to keep it there is like the development of this new self, this true self that is outside of bounds of the regular waking world that you see. So that's the most important part, this primordial condition. From that point, I would say, from my experience, there's two streams of life force, okay? In Asian mysticism, they call it Shen and Jing, and they kind of meet in the center where the Qi is, the heart. So Shen is the energy of the crown, what we call in Tibetan Buddhism the white bodhicitta drop. Jing is the energy of the red bodhicitta drop, the energy of the genitals. It's our libido. So we go to that primordial condition, and then you'll become more aware of those things which pull us out of that purity of our mind. Now, really, holiness is purity of the mind. You go to any religion in the world,